So in this video, we are going to learn that how you can authenticate your React application using Auth0. You can use it as an authentication server, and also you can use it for the authorization purpose as well. So we are going to learn that how a React application can be secured with Auth0. So let's quickly go over the documentation here. So go to the documentation from here itself, and when you go in there, you will see different options here. So single page application, since we are working on a React application, single page applications are going to be the part of this. So I'm going to click on this one, and I see the React, Angular, JavaScript or Vue.js. So I'm going to go for React here. And when I go into the React, it is asking me to sign up for an Auth0 account. So I'm going to create an Auth0 account for this demo, and we are going to learn that how you can configure all the things here. And on the left side, you see it is also showing you the code that you need to write. So we are going to write this code as well as, and then we are going to build this. So let's quickly go to the sign up option. You can click here as well as you can click here as well. So I'm going to click here, and here it is asking me for my email ID. So I'm going to generate a new email ID here. So I'm going to create a new email ID. You can also use GitHub, Google or Microsoft. So I need to select a password here, and I'm going to suggest new password. It will give me a new password automatically, so I don't have to remember that. And when I click on continue, it is going to sign me up. So here I'm going to get signed up using my email ID and my password. You can use any of the other accounts as well. It's all up to you. So now account type, are you creating this account for yourself or on behalf of your company? So I'm going to create it for myself. Do you need the advanced settings? No, I don't need advanced settings. I'm going to go for next option. So advanced settings, you can see here that you can always create a new tenant with a custom name and a region. So basically this option is required for organizations where you are you are making multiple tenants within the same ID, so that gives you a flexibility here, but I don't need that. I'm going to click on next. When I click on next, it will take me to manage.auth0.com, and it's going to show me a dashboard where I can build the application, or I can register the application. So obviously this is a paid tool. So as you see here, thank you for signing up. You have 22 days left. So I can use this for my demo purpose or any learning purpose. I can use it, and it will give me 22 days of time. Okay. Now let's go to the application on the left, and I'm going to click on this one. So here, as you see, it created a default app for me, and when I click on this one, when I click on this, it will take me to this portal here. So in this portal, I'm going to see one more thing, that okay, my app name is default app. I can change this anything. Maybe I can change it to React App Demo, and it will give me a domain name which is a custom domain name. You can't change it because this is automatically generated. If you have a purchase license, then you can also make some customizations to it, but we are not going to do that here. Application logo, if you have a logo for your application, you can easily go in there. I don't have anything, so I'm going to keep it as is. Application type, so here this is the most important option that we need to select. So application type is for us, it will be single page application because we are going to build a React application. Let's go down, and it is asking me for application URIs and allowed callback URLs. So what we are going to do is we are going to leave this as is, and we are going to come back to this page because we need to set up all of these URLs, otherwise my application will not work. Okay, and let me see what else we have. So yeah, that's it. We need only these things, and here we don't need, if you have anything specific data for your application, you are using any device settings or anything like that, you can configure here, but we don't need all of this. So let me come back here, and I'm going to save the changes. So it will rename my app. It is saying that it will take about 30 seconds to change the name of the app, but I think it has already changed the app name, React App Demo. Okay, so let's create an application. So how you can build the application now? So let's see. So here, when you click on these three dots, you will see Quick Start. Click on this thing. You will again be redirected back here on the Quick Start page, and here you will see the React option. So you can use this option. I'm going to use this for creating the integration app, and you can download a working sample here. So I'm not going to do that. Instead, we are going to build an application from scratch, and we are going to implement all the options that it is showing here, and we are going to show that. Okay, so let's go to the folder. So let me create a folder. So I have a demos folder here, as you can see here, and in this demo folder I'm going to create my React app. In my demos folder I'm going to create a new React app. So npx create React app and write the name of the app. So the name of the app would be what I can say is Auth0 sample app. Okay, and press enter. So once you press enter, it will start downloading the packages, and it's going to create the folder at this location. So let me see it has created the folder here. So we will be using the same folder. I think it's done. So it's done, and I can go to this folder. So let me go to my VS Code. So I have my VS Code open here. I'm going to open the folder here, and I'm going to go my code repos, and here, and see in this we are going to go to the demos folder, right? And here is the Auth0 sample app. Click on open, and it will open the app here as you see here. So in the src folder you have all the files. I don't need most of them, so I'm going to remove the app.test. I'm going to remove this and this. These three files I'm going to remove, and I think, yeah, that's it. So let's remove this out. So once I remove that, I need to check. I think my app will not work for some of the things. For example, so in the index.js I am using this thing. So let's remove this code here, as well as let's go to the app.cs file. Here it is all fine, and here also it is all fine. Okay, great. Here is also fine. So our app should work now. So let me check what we have done as of now, and let's see if it throws any error. And this dependency also we have to remove from here. And so how you can run the app? So just go to the terminal within the VS Code itself, and here you can do one thing. You can do npm start. So once you do that, it will start running the app on your laptop. So here, as you see, the app is started running on my local host. So now let me minimize this out, and let's do one thing. Let's follow the steps. So let's go back to the React App Demo, right? And here how we can configure. So let's go to the first point here. Configure the Auth0. Get your application keys. I need these keys, domain, and all the things. So let me open another tab here. So maybe okay, so it will not allow me. Okay, give me a second. I'll open this in a new tab so that we can compare along. Okay, let's do like that. So here, when I go back here, so it will take me to the quick start guide. I'm going to click settings here, so that I can copy the settings directly, and I'll also follow the tutorial. So here, as you see, I need to first configure auth0. So auth0 is configured. Let's see what we have done. So we have the domain name, we have the client ID already, as we saw. Yes, we have the domain, we have the client ID. What else we need? Okay, then you need to configure the callback URLs. So it is saying that for your React app, you need to configure this HTTP localhost 3000. Why this is so? So let's go to the React app which was running. So as you see here, it is running on localhost 3000. So basically React app runs by default on localhost 3000. So I'm going to copy this out. I'm going to the settings and let's configure the URLs. So in all the URLs, I'm going to configure the same. Okay, and let's see what else we have to do. So configure logout URLs. So on the logout, I also want the user to come back to the home page. That's fine. And here also, great. So we have done all the things. Now the next step is install the Auth0 React SDK. So let me first save this settings. I'm going to save the settings here. So it is saying that payload validation. What else? Let me see, callback URLs, logout URL. Okay, so we don't need to mention the application logout URL. That's fine, that's all okay, right? So I'm going to save this out and now it updated, right? So now let's install the package that it was talking about. So let me copy this here and I'll go to the VS Code, and here itself in this I'm going to stop the terminal. So in the terminal itself I'm going to use the same command, npm install auth0 react. When I press enter, it's going to install the packages from npm, and we are going to use the same here. So as you can see, it has installed the packages. Let me check. So in my dependencies, you can see it has installed the auth0 react. So now let's move this down and let me actually go back to the code right here. And once we do that, you have to do this thing in your app component. Okay, so let me copy this. I'm going to copy this out and I'm going to do is index.cs file, right? And so where we have to do, we have to wrap the app.js component into auth0 provider. So let's copy this out, only this part, not copying the whole part. And I'm going to wrap this out here, and let me cut this part and put it at the end. Okay, so now we have the auth0 provider and we need to import it, right? So import auth0 react, right? There we go. So now it has downloaded the package here, and you see it has already copied my domain name and client ID. Why? Because I'm following their own tutorial. So they have already updated those values here. So it's easy for me to use that, right? So let's actually copy this. Okay, and let's create a component. All right, so let's create components here. I'm going to create a new folder in this, and the name will be components. Okay, and here I'm going to create a new file, login button.jsx. Okay, and in the login button.jsx I'm going to copy and paste this code. That's it. So here what I'm doing is I'm going to create a button named component, and it's going to use the auth0. So auth0 hook. So this is a hook that is provided by the auth0 itself, and I'm returning a button with this. Okay, let me save this, and in the app.js file, instead of all this, I'm going to remove all this here, the header part, and instead I'm going to import my login button. Okay, and here we go. Now let me run the app first. Npm start. So once I do the npm start, it will start running the app here, and you will see that currently it is giving me an error. What? So it is saying that, hey, export default Auth0 providers was not found in the index.js file. Okay, let me see. So where is the index.js file? Okay, so I think we made a mistake here. So we need to use the strict mode outside of the provider. Okay, so strict mode should be always outside. Yes. Now the error is gone. Let's go back here. So you see, this is the login button which I just added. So I'm going to click this out, and it takes me to this page, and the ID would be something test@test.com. So here we are done, and then I'm going to click continue. I'm going to save the password, and it is saying, hey, do you want to authorize this user? And yes, they want to authorize. And when I click on this, so it comes back on the page, because as you see here, we have the redirect URI as window.location.origin. So it will take you back to the same page. So this is how it works, and now I am currently logged into the system. How we can check that we are logged into the system, I'll show you. So let's come back to the documentation. So now we are able to log in, right? We are able to see this. Now add a logout button. So I'm going to copy this out. Okay, and let's come back to the VS Code, and in the components, let's add a new file name as logoutbutton.jsx, and I'm going to paste it here. Okay, and this button I have to add into my app.js file. So I'm going to put a break here, and after that I'm going to use logout button. Okay, so now when I go back to the React app, it is showing me to login and logout. So when I click on logout, it logged me out. Now if I again click on login, it will again take me to that page, and here I'm going to use my test.com, right? This is the one which I created, and I'm going to click continue, and now I'm logged in. So now how do I check that I'm logged in? So let's come back to the documentation. So we are going to show the user profile information. Okay, so let me copy this out, and let's create another component, new file, profile.jsx. Okay, I'm going to paste it here. So as you see, we have the constant profile, and here it is using the Auth0 hook, and it is trying to pull some values. One is the user, one is authenticated and is loading. So is authenticated means yes, I'm authenticated. So I'm going to save this, and in the app.js file next to the logout button, I'm going to use another break, and I'm going to add the profile. Okay, so obviously you should be only able to see the profile details when you are logged into the system, right? So let's come back here. Let's come here. You see test@test.com, right? Now let me log out. So when I log out, it logs me out, and you can't see that data. Why? Because now you are not logged into the system. How you can log in? Click on login button again. It will take you there. Let's use our old credentials, right? And let me continue. And now it logged me in, and here is the test.com. Awesome. So it actually logged me in here, and you see the data. Now let's inspect. So I'm going to open the browser tools here, and in the tools I have an extension for components. So here you see that, so the components are actually, how I can see that, so there is an extension for this, so which is known as React Developer Tools. So basically this is a extension that is developed by Facebook itself, and you can use this to inspect through the data that is being moved in and out. Now I want to see the data which is being used or shown to the user, so you can inspect it here itself. So as you see here, I have is authenticated true, is loading is false, and the user details are here: nickname, name, picture, updated, and all these things. So basically we are actually getting that data from Auth0 directly. So this is how you can pull any number of data, anything like that. Okay, so let me go back to the code actually. So let's inspect it, how this is working. So let's go to the profile here. In the profile you see that we are using the user, is authenticated, and is loading. So there are three states that we are maintaining. So we have those three here, right? Is authenticated, is loading, and user. Others are blank because we are not using those within this particular component, right? So now as you see here, what it is doing, it is saying that if is loading, then return loading. So it is going to show you loading when until it is processing the data. So it takes about milliseconds. That's why you can't see that much difference. Okay, you can't see this thing. You can see by adding some extra sleep time between that, so that it will show you. And here you see I'm using the image tag, h2 tag, and the p tag. So in the image tag we have the src picture, so user.picture. So where this user is actually this authenticated user. Okay, so here user.picture, and here's the picture URL. So it is using that property. So for example, let's add another thing. So maybe I'll add, let me see what we can add. So we are using picture already, we are using name and email, picture, name, and email. So name, picture, and email. So maybe I'll use updated at. Okay, let's copy this out and let's add another tag, p tag, and within the tag I'm going to use the curly braces here, right? And user dot, and then I'm going to update it at. When I save this and I go back to the browser, you can see the data as well now. So this is how you can authenticate your application using Auth0.